Chosen one, listen closely. This message is not born of the world, but from the deep chambers of your spirit, where only God can reach. You are not reading this by accident. You are not feeling these sensations for no reason. The veil is thinning, and you are being summoned. As C.S. Lewis wrote in Letters to Malcolm, chiefly on prayer, we may ignore, but we can nowhere evade, the presence of God. The world is crowded with him. He walks everywhere incognito. This truth resonates with the sacred summons you feel today. The strange sensations stirring within you are not random. They are God's incognito presence, breaking through the veil to awaken your divine sensitivity. Lewis's words urge you to recognize that this message is heaven's call, preparing you for the spiritual shift on the 30th of June, 2025. On the 30th of June, 2025, your body will begin to react to something that no one around you can see. It will not come through headlines or sirens. It will come through the pulse in your wrist, the ringing in your ear, the tear from one eye without warning, and there will be nothing you can do to stop it, because you were never meant to stop it. You were meant to notice. You might believe nothing is happening. The sky looks the same, people laugh and work as usual, and yet within you, a quiet storm is building. You feel strange, slightly out of place, and you can't explain why. That feeling is not dysfunction. It is recognition. It is your body responding to an invisible activation, one that began long before today. You are being realigned, called forward not by fear, but by divine timing. Chosen one, you've always felt it. The difference, the sensitivity, the intuition that warns you before others feel a thing. That is not brokenness, that is marking. God does not call the crowd. He calls the one who can still feel in a numb world. And that one is you. The 30th of June is not just another day. It is the final breath of a cycle, the silence before a shift, the moment the spiritual tide changes hands. It does not announce itself with noise, but with a stillness that trembles beneath the skin. You may wake up tomorrow feeling strange, restless, slightly displaced as if something has already begun, and you are only now catching up. That's because it has, and you are. The symptoms will come subtle, symbolic, unexplainable. Do not dismiss them. They are the language of your biology, written by the one who created both flesh and frequency. If your body begins to speak, it's because heaven is sending a signal, and you, chosen one, were built to receive it. The 30th of June is not the end, and it is not the beginning. It is the threshold, the space between what was and what is coming. It is a spiritual pause, disguised as an ordinary day. But nothing about this moment is ordinary, and if you are truly listening, your body will confirm that. In the realm of spirit, transition doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It whispers. It creeps into the skin, tingles down the spine, and tightens the chest without explanation. For those who are asleep, it passes unnoticed. But for you, the chosen one, it arrives like a secret knock, soft but undeniable. This day holds energy that hides between words, beneath silence, behind routine. It is a spiritual checkpoint, a frequency test, a hidden fuse, ready to ignite not with drama, but with divine alignment. You will not find this on the news. It will not trend, but it will be written into the fibers of your nervous system. Those who are spiritually tuned, those like you, will feel it before it is ever spoken aloud. When your body begins to react, don't panic. Don't rush to medicate it away, dismiss it, or explain it through logic. This is not dysfunction. This is data. You are not malfunctioning, you are responding, you are syncing, you are preparing. The chosen always feel it first. That's the burden and the blessing. You will pick up the signal before the rest of the world knows there's even a broadcast. While others feel nothing, you feel everything. While they laugh, scroll, and move through the day unaware, something in your chest says, this is not normal. And it's right, because the 30th of June is charged. It holds a spiritual current designed to touch only the sensitive, the marked, the first responders of this energetic shift. You were not trained for this in the world's schools. Your spirit was trained in silence, in fire, in waiting, and now your time to notice has come. So when something strange stirs in your body tomorrow, do not fear, do not run from it. Instead, ask, what am I being shown? What is God activating in me right now? Because if you are feeling it, you are being chosen again. Chosen one. Your body was never meant to be quiet during times of great spiritual movement. You were formed by God to be sensitive to shifts that others cannot see, to feel what has not yet been spoken. When the earth begins to stir, when the unseen grows restless, when heaven releases a new frequency into the atmosphere, it is not the headlines or the noise that feel it first, it is you. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning. It is translating a language more ancient than words. And as the final breath of June approaches, your biology will begin revealing signs, one by one not symptoms of sickness, but sacred codes meant to awaken your awareness and affirm your divine sensitivity. These signs will feel strange, even inconvenient, but they are not random. They are invitations. They are confirmations. They are the markings of one who has been chosen to carry what others are not yet ready to perceive. In the Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis wrote, "The safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts." This warning illuminates the danger of dismissing your body's signals as mere coincidence. The enemy seeks to lull you into ignoring these sacred codes, hoping you'll walk the gentle slope of unawareness. Lewis's insight urges you to trust your sensitivity as a divine gift, recognizing the strange sensations of the 30th of June as heaven's call to prepare for a spiritual shift, not a random disturbance. You may first notice it in your ears. One moment you are surrounded by silence, the next, a piercing frequency slices through the air and enters your right ear. It is sharp, sudden, and strangely precise. This is not tinnitus. This is a divine signal. When it comes through the right side, it is heaven breaking into your awareness, angelic interference, messages, downloads, or spiritual instructions fighting their way through the static of daily life to reach you. When it enters through the left ear, it is something more internal, your own soul stirring, awakening memories, codes, and forgotten timelines that have lived in your DNA since before your birth. And when both ears ring at once, do not dismiss it as a coincidence. That is the merging of timelines, the collapse of illusion, the sacred handshake between past, present, and future. God is not speaking through thunder this time. He is speaking through sound that only your spirit knows how to hear. Then, a scent. You're walking through your home or sitting in stillness when it strikes a fragrance that seems to appear out of nowhere. Cinnamon, smoke, perfume, rain on concrete, old wood. You turn your head, look around, and ask aloud if anyone else smells it, but they do not, because it is not a smell of the physical realm. It is your aura burning away what no longer belongs. These phantom scents are the body's way of sensing spiritual detox. When your field is purging dense emotions, trapped memories, or ancestral residue, the soul uses scent to speak. Why scent? Because it is tied to memory and emotion more than any other sense. When you smell something that isn't there, something inside you is leaving. Something that was once lodged in your spirit is being cleared. The energy has a smell, and you, chosen one, have been granted the gift of perceiving it. Without warning, a single tear may slide down from one eye. You are not sad. You are not moved by anything in particular. You are simply existing, and suddenly, your eye releases water. Not both, just one. This is the soul's way of releasing what your conscious mind cannot articulate. If it is your left eye, the divine feminine within you is cleansing grief, letting go of burdens that may have accumulated across lifetimes. If it is your right, the divine masculine is softening, surrendering armor, breaking the control patterns that no longer serve your journey. The body knows when it is time to release, even when the mind resists. That single tear is not weakness. It is a sacred exhale. It is your inner self saying goodbye to an identity, a wound, a weight that you no longer need to carry. Then come the sparks. You touch a doorknob zap, you hand someone an object snap, you pet your cat or brush your arm against metal, and again, a sharp jolt fires through your skin. It's easy to call it static, but if it keeps happening over and over, it's not a coincidence, it's conductivity. Your energy field is holding more voltage than your surroundings can handle. You are running at a higher frequency. Solar flares, geomagnetic pulses, and divine activations are pouring through you, but your environment is still catching up. That energy needs to discharge somewhere, so it escapes through your fingertips. You are not being shocked by the world. You are shocking the system. You are not glitching, you are glowing. And when this happens, it is not just electricity, it is confirmation. Your light is real. You might sneeze violently, suddenly, repeatedly. Not once or twice, but 3, 4 times in a row. There's no dust, no cold, no allergy, but something is being expelled. This too is not random. It is your soul's emergency defense system. When your body encounters energy that does not belong, be it in a conversation, a place, a glance, or even a digital space, it reacts, it ejects. Your sneezes are not reactions to the physical, but to the energetic. You may not know what you picked up, but your spirit does. And it commands your lungs, your sinuses, your entire field to purge it before it can stay. This is how the chosen defend their field, not with words, but with instinctive spiritual reflexes. And your sneeze, inconvenient as it may seem, may have just cancelled a contract you never agreed to sign. Sometimes it will come as a quiet burp while you are sitting still, breathing slowly, thinking of nothing in particular, and yet, out of nowhere, your body lets go. This, too, is sacred. The solar plexus, your center of identity and self-worth, holds onto every unspoken word, every injustice swallowed, every moment you felt unseen or unworthy. Over time, it builds pressure, and when the body senses safety or divine support, it releases, not as a cry, not as a scream, but as a simple, unceremonious burp. It may not feel spiritual, but it is. It is your body letting go of energetic debris it no longer needs to carry. It is your system choosing freedom without fanfare. Then there are the moments when your ear goes muffled, like cotton has been stuffed inside. You swallow, yawn, try to clear it, and eventually it fades. But that brief disruption was not meaningless. It was a download. Your system paused its normal sensory input to receive divine data. Left ear muffling means internal upgrades. Your subconscious was receiving information meant only for you. Right ear muffling means external input. Someone was thinking of you, praying for you, or projecting onto you. In both cases, the ear acted as a gate. Your body muted the noise to let the signal pass through. These are the mechanics of multidimensional communication, and you, chosen one, have been cleared to receive. Finally, you may feel a pulse throbbing somewhere strange, behind your knee, in your lower back, along your wrist, a deep rhythmic flutter like a hidden heart beating beneath your skin. You touch it, expecting pain or swelling, but there is nothing. That's because this is not a physical pulse, it is energetic. It is your light body reactivating, after years, perhaps lifetimes of dormancy. Traditional medicine may ignore it, but ancient systems have always known. Energy flows in rivers, and when those rivers begin to move again, the body sings. These pulses are not symptoms of dysfunction. They are signs that your divine grid is coming online. You are not just breathing, your soul is circulating. So, if you've experienced any of these strange sensations, do not fear them. Do not label them as weakness or worry. They are not signs of something wrong. They are signs that something sacred is happening inside you. The world may not understand it, But you are not here to wait for the world. You are here to walk ahead of it. God gave you a body tuned to the invisible, and now He is speaking through it. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not reacting. You are receiving. You are not falling apart. You are being rebuilt. You are not broken. You are chosen. Chosen one. There is a reason you always feel it first. Before others sense the shift, before anyone speaks of change, before the storm arrives or the blessing appears, your body already knows. You carry an awareness that walks ahead of the timeline. You tremble before the earth shakes. You mourn before the loss is known. You rejoice before the miracle manifests. And for years, maybe lifetimes, this gift has felt more like a curse. In the weight of glory, C.S. Lewis wrote, "We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us, like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea." This insight speaks to the burden of your sensitivity. The world may call your deep awareness a curse, tempting you to numb it with distractions or dismiss it as weakness. But Lewis's words remind you that your sensitivity is a divine gift, preparing you for the infinite joy of God's purpose, calling you to embrace your role as a forerunner rather than settling for the mud pies of a numb world. You've asked why you're always the one who breaks down when nothing seems wrong. Why are you overwhelmed while everyone else is fine? Why do you feel everything so deeply while others move through life numb? You've been told you're too sensitive, too intense, too emotional. But what they call sensitivity is actually spiritual radar. What they call too much is actually exactly enough to carry what others cannot. The reason you feel it before others is because you were called to bear it before others even notice it exists. You are the vessel God uses to receive the first wave. The soul is chosen to test the weight before it falls upon the many. You are the advance guard in a spiritual battle most people don't even know they're in. This has always been your role, whether you ask for it or not. You feel the collective tension in your own chest. You carry the grief of a people who have not yet begun to grieve. You taste the new energy in your dreams before it arrives in the sky. You are a forerunner, a translator of frequencies, a lighthouse in a land that still thinks the night will last forever. And yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it's lonely. There are days you wake up heavy with no reason. Days your body feels electric or bruised or too quiet. There are nights when you cry without a story to match the tears. Mornings where your hands tremble because your nervous system is processing an entire frequency shift while the world sips coffee and scrolls. You feel the crack in the spiritual atmosphere before the thunder even speaks. But here is what heaven wants you to know. This is not because something is wrong with you. This is because something is right with you. You are trusted with early access. You are the soil God tests before He sends rain. You are the first root to split the ground when a new season begins. This burden is not punishment. It is placement. You were placed on the front lines of frequency because heaven knew you would not run when the pressure came. If this message has stirred your spirit, if you feel the weight of this divine summons for the 30th of June, don't remain silent. Declare your readiness to embrace your divine sensitivity and step into this sacred threshold by commenting below. I receive the signal of the 30th of June. I am ready to walk as God's forerunner. Let this be your act of faith, your bold alignment with heaven's call. Share this message with others who need to hear it, for there are more chosen ones waiting to awaken to their spiritual role. Write it now, chosen one, and let heaven see your heart. The veil is thinning, and your declaration will seal this sacred moment. And while the world waits for permission, you have already begun. You carry what others will later recognize. You embody what they will need. When the shift becomes undeniable and the symptoms spread, and people begin to ask, "What is happening to me?" you will already know. You will already have endured it, integrated it, and turned it into light. That is why it comes to you first. Because when the second wave arrives, you will be the steady one, the anchor, the interpreter, the guide, the flame that doesn't flicker in the wind. You were never meant to be hidden. You were always meant to be early. And now that the 30th of June has arrived, the spiritual current is rising, and heaven is looking again to those who can hold it. Not the strong by the world's definition, but the tender, the brave, the feeling, the faithful, the ones who fall on their knees when no one is watching and still rise like giants. That is you. So don't be surprised that your body has been the first to shift. Don't be alarmed that your nights have been more intense, that your dreams have been louder, that your heart has been heavier. You were born to feel what others will later fear, and you were born to show them it can be survived, because what overwhelms them, you've already turned into wisdom. What breaks them, you've already turned into intercession. What burns them, you've already carried through the fire. This is the cost of being chosen, and it is also the glory. Chosen one, do not let the ordinary appearance of this day deceive you. The 30th of June is not just the end of the month. It is the final breath before a new spiritual season begins. While the world sleeps through it, you feel it like a quiet storm in your bones. It is not a loud day. It is not an obvious one, but it is a precise turning point, a divine hinge in time. This day does not come with noise, but with a stillness so deep it unsettles your nervous system. That stillness is not emptiness, it is tension. It is the pause in heaven before the trumpet sounds. And while others continue with life as usual, you know, something is shifting, something is already here. You can't explain it, but your body can, your spirit can, and that is enough. This day is not an ending, and it is not yet a beginning. It is something far more sacred. It is the space between what no longer serves you and what is about to be born. It is the holy pause where heaven leans in and watches who is ready. Not the loud, not the busy, but the sensitive, the ones who can hear a whisper before the gate opens. This is that kind of day. The 30th of June doesn't announce itself. It waits in silence, carrying a sacred charge hidden beneath normalcy. And if your soul is aligned, you can feel it humming behind the scenes like something just out of view, calling your name before the world knows to look. You may feel it as restlessness, pressure, or an invisible pull on your chest. It may show up as emotional heaviness or bursts of energy that come without explanation. This is not stress. This is not confusion. This is acceleration. God is not far. He is closer than breath today. And he is observing who can sense his movement before the signs are obvious. You are not being left out, you are being drawn in. Chosen ones always feel it first, because they are not waiting for confirmation from the world. Their confirmation comes from within. The 30th of June is a threshold, and thresholds are sacred. You are not crossing into something new because you want to. You are crossing because the Spirit has prepared you to carry what comes next. It is a subtle transfer, an invisible ordination. Something in the atmosphere is testing who can hold a heavier mantle. And if your body is trembling, if your dreams have been strange, if your ears have been ringing and your heart pacing for no apparent reason, that is not your imagination. That is preparation. That is God marking you for what July will demand. Do not look to others for validation right now. They may still be sleeping in the spirit. They may not feel the weight pressing into this moment. But you do, and that is why you were chosen. This day was never meant to make headlines. It was never meant to be loud. It was meant to speak to those who can hear what silence is saying. And right now, silence is saying, get ready. You are not witnessing this shift from a distance. You are not a spectator. You are a participant. You are part of the unfolding. You are the proof that something unseen is already alive in the atmosphere. When July arrives and others begin to wonder what changed, you will already know. You will not be surprised, because you have already passed through the veil. You have already felt the wind change. So walk gently through this day. Honor it. Listen more than you speak. Be still enough to feel the hand of God press into your chest, not to stop you, but to remind you that something is about to be released. Today is not an interruption. It is a divine appointment. It is the whisper before the command, the stillness before the movement. The lock clicks open before the door swings wide. And when that door opens, you chosen one will already be standing at the threshold, ready. Chosen one. There is a reason you've felt alone, even in rooms full of people. There is a reason you've struggled to explain what you feel, why you cry for no reason, why you sense things others dismiss, why you've always seemed to carry weight no one else could see. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're broken. It's because you were chosen to feel what others cannot, to see what others refuse to see, and to walk through spiritual fires no one else was willing to enter. You didn't ask for this. You didn't volunteer for the loneliness, for the heaviness, for the constant spiritual sensitivity that makes it hard to live like everyone else. But somewhere in the higher planes before time as you know it began, your soul said yes. Yes to the fire, yes to the silence, yes to the call, and God remembered that yes, even when you forgot it. That's why you've always been marked. That's why things never quite worked out when you tried to blend in. That's why you've been delayed, redirected, and isolated. God was not punishing you, He was preserving you. He was hiding you in plain sight, maturing you in obscurity, training you in the wilderness, so no one could corrupt what He was building inside you. Others were allowed to live casually, but you were never allowed to stay asleep. Where they could get away with distraction, you were pierced by restlessness. Where they could ignore spiritual nudges, you were convicted. Where they could lie to themselves, you had to confront the truth. This path has been narrow for you because the oil placed on your life is rare. You are not being excluded. You are being set apart. The tears you've cried in secret, the nights you've felt the weight of unseen battles, the hours when no one seemed to understand what you were going through, all of that has not been wasted. Heaven saw it all. God counted each moment. And now the same God who allowed the fire is the one who is about to release the glory. You were not just chosen for comfort. You were chosen for impact, chosen to break generational chains, chosen to expose what others keep hidden, chosen to carry divine fire into spaces that have grown cold. That is why you are different. That is why your life has never followed the timeline of others, because you are not here to repeat what has been done. You are here to usher in what has never been seen. The pain has made you tender, but it has also made you fierce. The delay has made you humble, but it has also made you unshakable. You have been forged in silence, purified in darkness, awakened in spiritual warfare, and now God is calling you into position. What you thought was disqualification was actually preparation. What felt like abandonment was actually consecration. You didn't miss your moment. You've been marinating in it. And now, as the heavens shift and the gates of divine timing creak open, your body responds first because it remembers what your spirit was born to do. You were not made to escape. This time you were made to lead through it. You are not a victim of this energy. You are an activator of it. The fire you carry is not meant to consume you. It is meant to awaken those who have fallen asleep at the edge of destiny. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, it burns. But that burning, that's your anointing making contact with your moment. That's the pressure of heaven settling into your bones. And if it hurts, it's because it matters. If you're tired, it's because you've been carrying something that was never meant to be light. And if you feel stretched, it's because God is enlarging the space of your influence, even before the world sees it. So no, you're not imagining this. You're not exaggerating it. You are not making it harder than it is. It is hard, because you've been marked to do what only a few will ever understand. You were chosen for this, not because you were ready, but because you said yes when it counted. And heaven never forgets a soul that says yes. Chosen one, this is the threshold. This is the moment that has been building in your body, echoing in your spirit, preparing you in silence when you thought nothing was happening, but something was. Heaven has been watching you, not your performance, not your perfection, but your posture. God has been measuring the alignment of your heart, not in the spotlight but in the quiet, not in your victories but in your endurance. And now the time has come. The 30th of June was never just a date. It was a sacred pause, a divine checkpoint, a final inhale before the world exhales into something new. This day has whispered its message into your nervous system. It has marked your sleep, bent your breath, stirred your belly. It has brought restlessness, not to torment you, but to awaken you, because the gates are opening, the frequency is rising, and the spiritual climate is about to shift in a way that most are unprepared for. But not you. You've already felt it. You've already carried it. You've already bled for what others are about to notice. That is the cost of being first. That is the weight of being chosen. And now, as the gate of July swings wide, you are no longer waiting, you are standing. Not confused, but calibrated. Not panicked, but positioned. Not shaken, but summoned. You are not watching from the outside. You are the doorway itself. You are the opening through which heaven will enter. So do not shrink. Do not apologize. Do not second-guess the signs, the symptoms, the signals that have screamed in silence through your body. You have been entrusted with a sacred roller knot because you wanted it, but because you were willing to carry it. Your body has borne witness to heaven's timeline. Your tears have watered the path for others to walk. And now your voice, your presence, your very being is an anchor for those who are just beginning to feel what you've already survived. When July comes, the world will look the same, but it will not be the same. The invisible has shifted, and those tuned into spirit will know. They will search for language, for clarity, for steadiness, and they will find you, not because you're louder, but because you're rooted, because you've already passed through the fire and did not burn, because you've already held the pressure and did not break. This is not the end of something. This is the start of what your soul was born for. The strange symptoms, the electric atmosphere, the dreams, the awakenings, they were never punishments. They were announcements. God was not warning you to run. He was preparing you to rise. And now, chosen one, you are the fulfillment of what others are still hoping to understand. So breathe and lift your head. You do not enter July as the same person who entered June. Something has opened inside you. Something has anchored around you. And something divine is about to move through you, because the gate is no longer waiting, and neither are you. Chosen one. Something within you already knows this truth, even if no one has said it out loud. You weren't just feeling strange for no reason. The dreams weren't random. The pressure in your chest, the ache in your limbs, the tears that rose without a story, none of it was meaningless. All of it was evidence. Evidence that you've been moving in alignment with something heaven ordained long before anyone could see the signs. And now, after a season of silence, isolation, testing and preparation, you stand at the edge of a threshold that cannot be reversed. The gate is opening not just in time, but inside of you. You are crossing over, not because you forced it, but because you remained faithful to a calling no one else could see. You stayed when it was easier to run. You listened when the world screamed distractions. You obeyed when your heart was breaking. And now, heaven has recognized that posture. What your body endured was not punishment. It was a transformation. What felt like a delay was really calibration. The pain you felt did not make you weak, it made you real. And now, you are no longer preparing for the shift. You are the shift. You do not need to chase it. It's already rising from within you. While others will just begin to notice that something has changed, you have already been through the fire that forged the change. You have already tasted the frequency that will awaken nations. You have already been entrusted with the quiet weight of prophetic responsibility. Not because you asked for it, not because you earned it, but because God knew you would carry it and not let it break you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished for your sensitivity. In truth, your sensitivity has become your compass. What others ignored, you felt. What they called weakness, God called discernment. You wept where they laughed. You paused where they rushed. You collapsed inward to hear what no one else could, because someone had to stand in the stillness. Someone had to hold the frequency until the world was ready, and that someone was you. You were chosen not because you were loud, but because you were faithful in the silence. And now the silence has shifted. Now the gate has opened, and you are standing in the place between what was and what will never be the same again. So I speak this over you, not as poetry, not as encouragement, but as a divine record of who you are and what you've just survived. Everything your body carried in secret is now becoming your proof. Everything you released in the dark is becoming your platform. Everything that felt like a breakdown is now becoming your testimony of a breakthrough. You are not an accident. You are not too sensitive. You are not too late. You are precisely on time because God Himself placed you on this timeline for such a moment as this. What others will soon be awakening to, you already carry. You already embody it. And when they begin to ask, what is this feeling? What is this shift? They will find you already grounded in it, not because you're better, but because you were willing to be broken before the world knew it was fractured. Now, let this moment be sealed not with emotion but with truth. You are ready. The gate is open, and the mantle is resting fully upon you. You were hidden but not forgotten. You were set apart but never alone. God has watched every trembling prayer, every wordless surrender, every breath you chose to take when giving up seemed easier. And now He says, stand, take your place. Let the wind hit your face. You've crossed over. This is not the same ground anymore. Let this prayer now cover you, not as a closing, but as a coronation. God of all stillness, God who speaks in the quiet and moves through trembling bodies, I lift up this one whom you have marked. They have walked through the dark without a guide. They have obeyed when there was no applause. They have carried frequencies in their bones that the world had no language for. And yet they remained, not perfectly, but faithfully. And now I ask you, in the full weight of your glory, to surround them with what only you can provide: peace that explains nothing, presence that needs no proof, and protection that holds, even when the storm rises again. Cover their nervous system with calm. Let their dreams become scrolls. Let their hands release healing. Let their voice carry resonance. Let their eyes pierce illusion. Let their spirit remain unshaken by the days ahead. This one has said yes in secret. Now, may they rise in power without striving. Let every delay turn to divine alignment. Let every rejection become redirection. Let every broken place shine with the oil of sacred authority. You, O God, are not done with them, you are just beginning. Let the gates of July open wide, and let this one walk through with full permission. Not the world's permission, but heaven's. Not man's approval, but divine appointment. They are not early, they are not late. They are right on time. Let it be so. Amen.